like the tan line from his not in a weird onesie like 1920s powerlifter onesies. Yeah, his
like
significant tan lines on Frankie's shoulders there.
Yeah, luckily I wear pretty skimpy bathing suits, so. So here we go. If we just go ahead and take a look here, I want to zoom out just a bit. Let's come out to the daily. And as you can see, right, we had this previous value area that we were trading in all the way back from May of 2022. Now, this is not my actual charts, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the levels on the chart here manually because I do remember the levels because I stare at the charts long enough to just remember where these levels are. But yeah, the value area high of that range was at about 31K, right about there. So I'll put a horizontal line right there. And then the POC of that range was at about $30,000 even. I will go ahead and drop that right about there. And then we had the value area low coming in at about 28.8K, which is right about here. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we were trading within that value area, guys, which was a value area all the way back from May of 2022. And it was kind of the doorway to higher prices, right? Once we broke that level, we got that big move up to 31K as we were expecting. And then as we rejected this value area high, shout out to the premium Discord, we were looking, we gave this short setup almost to the dollar in the premium Discord, looking for a short from that value area high, because typically when you come to those value area highs, you at least get a rejection down to your POC, and then you know, it is likely that you will come back down to visit your value area low, which again was at 28.8K. And during my market update, shout out to the candles in chat. I see you guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, it feels yeah, I hate being away from the YouTubes, but yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I do see you. But that 28.8K level was kind of that level I was looking at in the market update, saying this is the doorway to lower prices, guys, because if we lost that value area low, what would essentially happen is we could get accepted back into our a different value area, where if I go ahead and pull it up real quick, right here we had another value area. Basically that we were trading in all the way through this 20-day range that was absolutely brutal, just going sideways. And that was kind of our previous value area that we were looking at. And we knew if we broke this value area low, we may be able to get accepted back into this previous range that was kind of basically between about 28.5 and about where we're sitting at now at about 27.5. So we were talking about how if we lost that 28.8K level, we know it would be at least likely to come down to the POC at 28K, and it would even be likely, if we weren't able to hold that POC, it would be more likely than not to come down and revisit that value area low at about 27.5. We got off the ship in Orlando. I checked the chart, and we were literally just chilling at 27.5, and I was like, thank God. So yeah, that was beautiful. And really, guys, all we're looking at is the value areas, right? We had that previous value area up here where we know if we come to the high, it's likely to come back down to the low, and then we know if we lose this value area low, we're going to come back into that old area of balance, the range I just mentioned. And now we are kind of just hanging out at the bottom of this range, which is a very, very interesting level, because if I go ahead and turn on our visible range volume profile, we'll pull up those volume bars on the side here, you can see this is a pretty important level to hold, because if you zoom out here, want to take a look at that giant volume gap that we have below us. You see we have this high volume node. That's kind of where we're sticking at right now. But if we lose this level, this is the new key level. This is the #1 level that we must hold. And it is coming in at about, I would say, about 27.5, right? If we start decisively losing these lows, more accurately, about 26,986. I believe that's the level I've been giving in the Discords. But yeah, this is a key level, because if we lose this, guys, we do have a pretty big volume gap here that will likely at least bring you down to that $26,100 level. But you don't really have that much volume here, so it may not be that strong of a level. And if you lose that level, you are more likely to come down to that, to the 25Ks, right? A lot of people have been looking for that move to 25K. I don't know if we're going to get it, but this is a very key level level. If we don't start getting a strong bounce here, we are very likely to fall through that low volume gap and hit those $25,000 levels. Shout out to these new hoodies. These are sick. Actually, TJ's is my favorite color. That's like that cream. It's got the money bags on it. These are absolutely awesome. Are these on the site yet, TJ?
Yes, hitmerch.com.
This is just a little bullish news here. I've been trading NFTs for over 5 years, have extremely high confidence we'll see another mania that is even more maniacal than the last one. If you disagree, you are wrong. I agree with that. Okay, Nicholas T. Haddon and Andrew Schumann.
Right.
Nicholas Haddon, Andrew Schumann. Good thing with the
Yeah, so perfect. We will be emailing out promo codes that you just go to the Bitcoin 2023 or the Bitcoin conference website. Put those promo codes in. You'll get a general admission ticket for $0.00. And we will get those sent out later today. So congratulations to those two winners.
Guys, I gambled over the week. I was on a cruise. I did a little bit of slots. I did a little bit of 21. Very, very small amount of roulette. Walked away even on roulette, down on slots and down on blackjack. But you know what I did? I was waiting on Kat to finish getting ready. Not a big surprise. I think guys can get done a little bit quicker than females. I started gambling on stake. We turned $350 into $1,100.
Let's go.
While on vacation. So all those losses kind of won it back, but I didn't really look at it that way. I was like, all right, well, I'm down, but now I'm up. All right, let's just go be a degen. And then I lost it all. Then I've lost a little on stake. But yeah, felt good about that.
What's up? I'm wearing this nice new merch. Morel's been working on all this stuff, man.
It's the orange one, but you know what is also orange and we got from NASA? Tang.
Hey,
so big shout out to Tang. Thank you, NASA, for Tang.
It's that orange drink, baby. Give me the purple.
Yeah, I want the Sunny D. All right, what do we got, man? But that is just so sharp. I just had a shit.
Well, I wanted to point out a couple things. You all were talking about that 20K level. I'm going to kind of tie this in with technical analysis and on-chain. This is a chart that I put out several months ago, just outlining different spots where smart money buys and, I don't want to call it dumb money, but retail gets brought in by all the mainstream news that comes out once we get these very fast price action movements like we saw in 2021 into 2022, or 2021 here, and then this time into 2022, when all the news media is just pumping the hope for the retail to come in and buy the top of these areas. These people don't have conviction. They're buying, hoping that they can take advantage of this, not realizing, but by nature of buying at these levels, emotionally charged, that they are contributing to the weakness of those levels. And so one of the main points that I try to talk about on the, in BitLab Academy and on the BitLab daily stream is we want to get as far away from emotional trading and more data-driven rather than being held hostage by our emotions and being excited about price levels. Ignore the price. The price should only be something that gives you a tool to set a target for whether it's stop losses, entries, or exits. But the data is what really gives you the opportunity. And I mapped out this possibility of what I thought was likely going to be the price action going into the halving and then post-halving. And we can see this is exactly where we've gone, exactly as expected, right here at that 30K, 31K level. And the golden pocket from this to this level would be right at that level you were talking about, TJ and Deezy, that $20,500, $21,000, if we were to come all the way back down here. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. The point here is the structure, this sort of pullback. Now, coming over to some of the what's going on right now, well, we can see this is from Will Clemente, who I'm actually having a conversation with tomorrow. I'm going to try.
Awesome.
I'm going
to
try to bring him on the shows here. Is that we had a large
baseball playing family.
Oh yeah. Large increase in open interest, which is essentially derivatives, futures, all the leverage traders, while price action was going sideways. And this is mostly positive open interest in terms of longs. And so this pullback is needed. You can't have 60% of the market trading on leverage long. So what's happening right now is okay. Now diving into what's going on right now, there is some hope around these levels. Right now, we're having the stronger-handed considered people, the long-term holders. We see a sharp increase in supply right here on this dip, as opposed to this $25,000 level where long-term holders were selling to weak-handed short-term holders. Now it's inverse. We can see that on this chart, and then coming over to this right here, you can see this this green spike here. Long-term holders, supply increasing. Now you see right here, the short-term holders are actually selling to long-term holders, which is kind of an interesting change in dynamic for the market. So there is some bullishness that goes with that. However, with all the stuff considering what's going on in the market, there is still a looming bearish, not even a cloud. It's just, it's not even a cloud. It's more like when you walk outside and there's so much fog, you can't see 20 feet in front of you. Is it nice? Is it not? You don't know. You can't see anything, right? But I guarantee you the sky above that fog is blue. And so we need to be aware of that. Now, looking at this is one more bullish potentiality. Anytime we've broken above the short-term holders realized price, this is the green flag here. Purple is when we broke above the hope zone here, the capitulation or hope. Capitulation will be on the way down. Hope would be on the way up. Once we've broken above these levels, we've seen not only the strong price action, but continued price action. This may look small, but this was about a 300 to 400% move from here to there. So similarly, right here, this was the beginning after the global economic shutdown, March 2020. Back here, this is the 2015 cycle. And I think that we're going to have something a little more similar than the 2015 cycle than the 2019 cycle, because we're finding a lot of resistance at this bull floor band. Now, the last thing I'll share here is we had a lot of supply and profit. It got all the way over 70% supply and profit. When the market is that profitable and so many people are making money, at some point, people start to get wind of that and they take profit. Now, if as bullish as I've shown some of those charts, we always have to look at things in context. And now this is not Bitcoin, this is traditional assets, but this is smart money betting big on the downside. This is the increase of puts on the SPX. And we can see, now this has been up here and had some continued price action to the upside, but if anything, it's always been a setup for the start of a bearish trend. And with the FOMC meeting coming up in the matter of a couple of weeks, we got to pay attention to this. So with that, make sure you come over to BitLab Academy. Check us out every day, 10 a.m. We got the new courses, the new website.
Nice.
All this stuff will be being launched while I am here in Atlanta. I leave May 5th. So go over to bitlabacademy.com, sign up today. It's still the old site, because if you sign up today or before we launch all the updates, you get to keep the current price of BitLab Academy for the life of your account rather than have to pay the updated cost, which it will be going up a little bit when we launch this. You can use BitSquad 15 as well for an additional 15% off.
All right. Ripple plans to help 3.7 billion people. Here is how. That's a lot of people, TJ. That's like half the globe.
That is a lot.
Maybe more. All right. Blockchain-based fintech company Ripple has announced plan to help over 3.7 billion people who are either unbanked or underbanked around the world. In a tweet released on Earth Day, the company believes that the global climate crisis is one of the most pressing challenges of the century, and that blockchain innovation and carbon markets can assist in achieving global environmental goals. They see one solution to the problem as providing low-cost and always-on money transfers in emerging markets and creating a central bank digital currency platform for governments working to improve financial inclusion. They believe its XRPL, which is the XRP ledger, is the world's first blockchain to be carbon neutral, and its framework has the potential to provide green cryptocurrency solutions and more productive carbon markets. The company has set a goal of achieving neutrality by 2030, if not sooner, by reducing emissions using green energy and investing in inventive carbon removal projects. They know where the money's at. They know the money's at, this ESG style narrative, and they got to play the game. And we always say, look, it is a banker's coin, and that is part of the appeal to some people. And if they want to be a banker's coin, they got to play the banker's games. Sam Bankman-Fried said it best. These are the stupid games us woke Westerners play, because it's what is expected. And so I think it's maybe along the same lines as that. I don't think people use XRP because a tree is planted every time, you send 10 transactions, but it is going to be needed, and it is an important aspect of cryptocurrency, especially as the energy FUD is going to be hitting another wave and another wave. Just wait for the next halving cycle. It'll all be in the news, and I'm sure they'll turn the halving into some sort of biblical plague style event where, oh my God, it used to be $15,000 of electricity to make a Bitcoin. Now it's $30,000 of electricity. And then they're going to do the equivalent. Oh, that could power 1,700 smart homes in Norway that use geothermal for 87 years apiece. And, they'll come out with some moon math. So expect to see it. It will be happening. And I think XRP, they're just kind of playing those games.